used in here. So I figured I would kind of speak a little bit about myself, kind of give you a little testimony. So let me start off by saying I didn't have a very good childhood growing up. I was adopted when I was a kid. My parents were on drugs. I got adopted by a family that they were holiness, so they went to a holiness church. Best way I can describe that is their lifestyle is kind of like the Amish in a way. I mean, the women have to wear long skirts and they can't cut their hair. Men can't wear shorts. I mean, I guess you could when you're, at home, but as far as being out in public and stuff like that, they prohibited that. So, anyways, I'm going to tell you that the first time I had contact with the Lord, and when I knew the Lord was real, and I hope this can encourage somebody. So when I was about 7 or 8 years old, first off, let me just say, when I was a kid, I mean, I was always healthy. I've always been pretty healthy, thank God. Very, grateful for that. But there was a point in my life when I was about 7, 8 maybe, and it was summertime. I was getting ready to go back to school within just a few days, and for whatever weird reason, I had these weird warts pop up on me. So I had some on like my knee, on my elbow. I had one pop up on my lip, and they just like regular warts. And so I was devastated. I was getting ready to go back to school, and I was so embarrassed. And I told my parents, I said, please don't make me go back to school. I said, not like this. I said, people are going to make fun of me. It's going to be terrible. I said, please don't make me go back to school. And she said, son, the Lord can heal you, right? She said, you just need a little faith. You just need to believe. She said, just believe, just a little bit. So we went to church that Sunday, and she wanted me to go down to the preacher, Brother James. Awesome person. Great man. And I was so embarrassed, I just wouldn't go down. I wouldn't go down that church service. So I waited until after church. I went down the aisle after church, spoke to Brother James. He said, son, get down on your knees. He said, I'm going to get down on my knees. He said, but let me tell you something. He said, you only need to believe a little bit. You only need a little bit of faith. He said, if you really believe, he said, the Lord will heal you, son. Me being a kid, I really believed that. I believed him. So he had a little vial of holy water, and he dabbed it on my forehead, and he started praying, laid hands on me. He started speaking in tongues. And me being a kid, I didn't know I didn't know what the Holy Spirit felt like. I didn't know. But son, within 10, 20 seconds, I just felt it come over me. And I started praying too. We wrapped up. I went home. And at this point, I'd kind of, just forgotten about it. And I laid down, went to bed, got up that morning, went to go brush my teeth. And of course, when you wake up, you're not thinking about nothing like that. You totally forget, what happened, the day before. So I turn on the light, start brushing my teeth, and it took a couple seconds to come to the realization that I had no wart on my lip. And my eyes just, boom, wide open. And I started checking on my knee and my elbow, and they were all gone. Every single wart was gone off me overnight. That was the first time in my life where I knew God was real. I knew at that very moment God was real. I ran downstairs and I told my adoptive parent, I said, look at my lip. And tears just filled her eye. I mean, she was just so, she was overwhelmed. She was more overwhelmed than I was. Because she was hurting for me because she knew how embarrassed I was to go back to school. And I'm telling you folks, it changed my life. I mean, even as a little kid. And ever since then, I started taking God a lot more serious. And so hopefully this message can encourage somebody. I know there's a lot of people out there with a lot of doubt and people struggling in the faith. And hope it can help you in some way. I appreciate you watching. Thanks.